In the beginning of Beauty and the Beast, an old, ugly, dirty woman visits the prince's castle. She offers the prince a rose, and in the original, the prince laughs in her face and treats her with disrespect. So off rip, you only hate his character because he's so rude. You hate the prince and all his employees and friends because they all laughed at the poor woman, so they deserve exactly what's coming to them. The witch turns into a beautiful sorceress in this movie right before she casts the spell. The witch in this movie stays ugly for the entire movie, so I'm starting to think someone cast the same spell she cast on the beast, and now she's ugly until someone could learn to love her. The newest version has a more diverse cast that includes a black librarian and many other people of color throughout the film. I'm not sure Disney realized black people were invented before the early 1800s, so they chose to leave them out of this film. When we first meet Gaston, we hate him automatically in the animated version. He doesn't believe women should read, work, or think for that matter, which is why he tells Belle to put down the book, marry him, and have his baby and raise the kids for the rest of her life. We don't really have a reason to hate Gaston until the end of this movie. He only tells Belle to stop reading in public because of what the townspeople will think, which is actually good advice to keep Belle under the radar. And he politely asks her for her hand in marriage, and every time they argue, it's Belle's facial expressions, attitude, or remarks that start the fight. Belle's father is an idiot, and his inventions suck in this version of the movie. Everything he makes, he breaks. Belle's dad in this movie actually makes amazing inventions, and everything he makes, the townspeople break. Since the father in this movie isn't cuckoo, it's mind-boggling how he wasn't fiscally responsible enough to finance a bigger house. Their house in this movie is like a present-day apartment, and they own about 500 square feet. Maurice owned almost an acre in this movie, and you had to walk for about 15 minutes before you got to the nearest neighbor. That's why when Belle sings her self-titled song, she takes like 50 steps and she's still singing in her backyard. This Belle takes like 50 steps and she's trespassing. Both of the fathers go on a business trip to sell their inventions. There's a fork in the road and they have to decide to make a right or a left. One of the dads has no choice but to make the right because the other side of the road is blocked off. The other dad is an idiot, and even though the road seems like the valley of the shadow of death, he makes a right anyway. The father is attacked by wolves. He narrowly escapes and seeks shelter in the castle. I don't care how many wolves are outside. As soon as I see a candle talking, I'm getting the hell out of Dodge. This dad agrees with me and did the same thing. The idiot from the first movie makes friends with the talking furniture like it's all good or whatever. Right after that, the beast takes him as a prisoner for trespassing. Even though this dad left, the beast still takes him as a prisoner for stealing, which is kind of harsh because the crime doesn't fit the punishment.
A life sentence for a rose.
Belle hears the news that her father's been captured, and without any GPS, she arrives to her destination in like 5 minutes. The beast makes her a deal and offers her a chance to trade places with her father. This Belle accepts the terms right away without any type of negotiating. This Belle is smarter because she asks to see his face first, but she's dumber at the same time because she still agrees with the terms after seeing how ugly he is. Belle and her father switch places. The beast gives Maurice an enchanted carriage which transports him back to the town. We never see how this father got away, and we're led to believe the beast made him foot it. Meanwhile, back in Belle's hometown, Gaston and 70% of the townspeople are getting drunk at the tavern. After Gaston finishes his song, Maurice barges in and updates the people that Belle has been taken prisoner by a beast. If this was real life, everyone will believe him because drinking impairs judgment, so the story doesn't seem that far-fetched if Henny's in your system. But Gaston helps him out in both movies. This Gaston listens and waits a couple of more scenes before he calls BS on the story. This Gaston helps Maurice out like this.
We'll help you out.
You will? Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you! Oh!
Afterwards, LeFou witnesses how far Gaston is willing to go for love. LeFou watches Gaston force Maurice into a mental asylum. He did it in this movie because he wants Belle's hand in marriage, and he doesn't want to get beheaded for attempted murder after he left Maurice in the woods to die. LeFou doesn't mind working with a liar and a cheat. This LeFou minds working with a liar, a cheat, and an attempted murderer. Back at the castle, Belle is going to die of starvation. The candle and the clock bring out all of this food during the Be Our Guest song, and every time she tries to taste something, they yank it away from her. They tease her with all these recipes only to feed her a little piece of pudding.
Pudding?
The animated clock and candle feed Belle better and give her a little bit of everything. Perhaps it's her lack of nutrition that causes her to lose her senses and fall madly in love with the beast. It made no sense why she was attracted to the monster in the original, and it's kind of disgusting actually. In the new movie, she's aware of the curse ahead of time, so she's aware that a man is underneath all of that fur. In this movie, Beast is educated and knows how to read. He's read every book in his library before he gives it away to Belle. Belle has to teach Beast how to read in this version. We don't know anything about the Beast in this movie, except he dissed an old woman one day and she put a spell on him as payback. This movie gives us a deep background check on the Beast and makes Belle feel sorry for him. Also, the Beast feels sorry for Belle too after he visits her flashback and learns how her mom died. This Beast falls in love with Belle mainly because of her beauty. Belle learns her father is sick and in trouble, and she has to leave to help him. The Beast asks her if she wants to leave. Belle thinks it over for a little bit and even has time to change clothes before she decides to leave. This Belle wastes no time and is out the door before he could finish his sentence. When Belle arrives to rescue her father, both of them are captured by the townspeople and taken as prisoner. Belle and her father escape, and in this movie, the teacup is the one that saves them. Gaston leads a group of townspeople to the castle to kill the Beast. A battle between the people and the furniture ensues. Le Fou shows no mercy in this movie. In this movie, Le Fou betrays Gaston and helps the good guys.
Well, I used to be on Gaston's side, but we are so in a bad place right now.
The fight gets lopsided, and the bad guys literally lose their manhood. The only difference is some of the men like it in this movie. Even though Gaston walks the front line, he makes it all the way through the battle without getting attacked once. When he sees the Beast, this Gaston shoots him in the back with an arrow, and the Beast learns his lesson after that. The curse must have made this Beast hard-headed because he gets shot in the back again and again and again and never learns his lesson. Gaston is the only one that learns his lesson, but it's too late because he dies to death. And those are 24 reasons these movies are different. So truth or dare, like and share, leave a comment under there. If you don't, that's not fair. This thing took a week to prepare. But I'm not a rapper though.
Best elevator music I've ever heard.